Welcome, my dear viewer, to Dr. Paul Kebisho YouTube channel. And today being the 7th day of February 2021, I want us to discuss about Valentine. It's a day that is normally hyped by many people, many couples. But we need to ask ourselves very, very pertinent questions. Should we just focus on Valentine as married people or as a married couple? Like now, I've been booked. I'll be on 14th of February. I'll be at PCA, Kagaita in Nyeri. I've been invited by Reverend Frederick Kelari to go and talk to couples during the Valentine Day. Personally, I have been married for the last 28 years, since 1993. And I want now to demystify this aspect of Valentine. Personally, to me, Valentine doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense in the sense that marriage is a going-on concern, if I may use what we call the accounting language. It's a going-on concern. Valentine does not only involve maybe doing good things to your spouse on this particular day called 14th. And if it is the only day that you do something good to your spouse, that's what we call pretense of highest order. Your spouse, if you have to please your spouse every day. How come that you're on, okay, it can be a day to remember, yes. And you need also to dig a little bit and understand why Valentine is there. Some of us, we celebrate a day that whose meaning we have no idea about. I'm not saying so because I'm not married. I repeat, I'm married. And I've been married for the period I've stated earlier on. So one of the key things that we need to look at, what is it that makes many families to have issues? What is it that makes marriages to have issues? Why are we hearing so many stories nowadays? When I was actually doing my internship, when I was pursuing my law degree, the magistrate in that particular court at commercial law courts presided over more than 11 divorce cases. Some of them, they were very young couples, very, very young couples. And I remember at one of the cases was that a young lady had stabbed her husband 28 times. The man was 135, the lady was 133. So Valentine, fine, we can celebrate Valentine, but we need to ask ourselves, what is it that takes us that whole year before we mark this particular day? So I urge all married people to look at the following things so that we can be able to know whether we are actually in the right way or we are doing the right things in our marriage or not. One of the things is that before you talk about marriage and before you talk about Valentine, the person that your significant have in the house must be your friend to start with. Who is a friend? There are those people that you normally confide in terms of the issues that you go through life. So one of the person who should be knowing from A to Z of your happenings should be your significant half. If you haven't been able to share with your significant half the happenings of that particular 1 year, what business do you have portraying a picture that things have been okay the whole year? Yet, the better part of that year, there has been no communication. You've not been sharing anything, maybe. It is said, and many people say, it is echoed by many people that the only institution where any may sleep in the same bed is in marriage. Where somebody keeps to his own information, and the other one likewise. And then it is called a marriage. And sometimes you do see people working together. And for information, there are those people who admire those couples. Little do they know that what the people are being exhibited is what we call public relations exercise for fear of what we call the society's comments or remarks. So a marriage should be a working marriage. A working marriage means you discuss issues from A to Z, matters finances, matters children, matters work, matters life, and many other happenings. That's what it should be. It should be a 360 degrees discussion. The other thing is that people must have what we call shared goals and visions. Since you are pulling in the same direction, you are a team. If you have not been pulling in the same direction in that particular year, what business do you have buying flowers? What are they for in the first place? Why should you go telling us? Some people, they pretend and they go telling us about their spouses, even on Facebook. Others, they go to Instagram and they tell us how that they have got what we call heavenly bound significant half. Whereas on the ground, things are different. It's good to not lead a lie. Let lead life the way it is. We must be realists in life. So as we celebrate Valentine, because people still do that, we need to ask ourselves those pertinent questions. Is the relationship still working? Are you reading from the same page? Do you have shared vision and goals? If one of you was to write a composition pertaining to the other party, what would be the content of your composition? Would it justify sometimes the behaviors exhibited by some people out there who play to the public gallery? These are things that we need to ask ourselves. And again, for instance, when you celebrate Jamhuri Day in Kenya, we know what had followed for us to have come up with that particular day called Jamhuri. When we talk about Labor Day, we know about the Labor Day movement or the labor movement. When we talk about AIDS Day, we know what AIDS Day is all about. When we talk about Father's Day, we know. So, but have you taken a bit of time to ask yourself what this Valentine Day is all about? Well, we need to interrogate and get to understand what it is that we need to do in order for us to be in the right page with our significant hubs and more so to lead a purposeful life. Finally, before I conclude, we're in the month of February. So far, I've interviewed more than 600 people from January to 7th of February 2021. And I've been inquiring from people what has been making them fail in the past in terms of planning for the holidays. And I have been urging all my viewers and listeners, if you want to have a good holiday, kindly follow these simple rules that I'm going to tell you. You already know that December is coming. We're in the month of February. Already January is gone. So if you never saved any money in January, don't expect February to be any different. So one of the things that you need to do right now as we speak, do this. Identify a financial institution that has got what we call an avenue of you saving some money. If it means, if you want to go to Mombasa, for instance, with your family in the month of December, and you have a budget of 120,000 shillings, why don't you start putting 10,000 shillings every month in that particular account where you have got no access, so that money goes on being saved on your behalf, because money's worst enemy is you. Number two, you can decide to put that money, for instance, in what we call a Britam account. At Britam, they have what we call a money market investment account. And it is very, very simple. What do you require to do? Just star 778 hash. You enter into that particular arrangement. You'll be saving your money, even if it's 1,000 per day, 2,000 shillings per day, because the minimum they accept is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And by the end of the year, you realize that come December, you have accumulated the amount of money that you require to take your family out for holiday. Maybe you have identified a plot worth 150,000 shillings and you have got no financial discipline. So what do you require to do? If God has enabled you the finances, what you require to do is simply to go to the same facility that I've talked about. And I'm giving you that because I have used it. Star 778 hash. Put your money there. They'll be saving your money on your behalf. And come that particular time when you had anticipated of buying that particular plot, you just withdraw your money on M-Pesa platform, period. So you must start putting some money aside. Don't consume everything. Even your retirement, my friend. COVID has taught people a very tough lesson. You need to save, you need to have some money which you are not accessing, so that in the event things turn upside down, you have what we call a fallback plan. Don't just consume everything. Save some money. No, wahenga walisema haba na haba hujaza kibaba. And a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So start putting your money aside right now. If you have got young children, and I have been talking about this, I don't know what happens to most of us Kenyans. The moment you find yourself having a young child, you know one day that child will go to school. Start putting money aside for that child's education. It is incumbent upon you. It behooves on you. You have a responsibility as a responsible parent to start putting some money aside for that particular child. It doesn't augur well when you go to financial institutions looking for what we call loans to educate your children. You knew your child was not an emergency in the first place. So put some money for that matter for the sake of your children. You can also contact me on the same. I do sell education policies for children. I have nothing to hide. And I work for Britam. So you can just contact me on 0713534465 and we make arrangements. I have educated my children, my firstborn, my secondborn, my thirdborn, and the others using education policies. I have sold insurance for 29 solid years. I know it works. If it doesn't work, it is not because it isn't. I could have left that particular one industry a long time ago. So let's please plan for our children's education. And after all, nobody knows what tomorrow has for him or her. In the event things go haywire, touch the wood, the education of the child will still educate him or her to the levels that you had planned. So kindly do that. Retirement, start planning for your retirement right now. If you're 40 years, you have only 20 years to work if you're in formal employment. After that, the employer will tell you, thank you so much for the wonderful services that you gave to this organization. But now because of the age factor, your services are no longer required. Where do you go to? All the financial commitments, all the financial obligations that you had continues. Paying water bill continues, electricity bill continues, eating continues, Seeking Medicare continues. So it's also upon you to start planning for your retirement. And we have companies that do that. We have organizations that do that. Why don't you approach them? And you know the Bible says we have eyes that we don't see. Go to your village where you come from. See those people who have retired. How do they look like? Imagine they were earning a salary like you are doing at the moment. And you've been consuming your salary deliberately without planning. Time is coming. Enter into a pension scheme. Start saving. Because you'll have yourself to blame. And I'm telling you, excuses are the tools of the incompetent that build bridges that take you nowhere. No matter how good the excuse is, the fact of the matter is you'll be broke. And when you find yourself penniless and you used to get some money, of course, heaven becomes closer than leading life here on earth, which is not God's design and purpose for life. The other thing I want to talk about is what we call Medicare. If possible, if God has enabled you, take a medical insurance. Take a medical insurance. And even before you go for medical insurance, make sure that you have taken what we call National Hospital Insurance Fund. It comes in handy. I have had a few health scares, and I can tell you sometimes it can be very, very hectic. You can find yourself into a very tough position. It's very, very important. We have companies that offer medical schemes, including my company, Britam. By paying something very little, for instance, if you take a cover of 1 million, what we call inpatient of 1 million, and of course an inpatient of 500,000 shillings, you will not pay more than, individually don't pay more than 40,000 or 49,000 shillings per year. You can imagine one visit to the hospital right now. If you go to Nairobi Hospital, for instance, and they do what we call an ECG, electrocardiogram test. They do what we call CT scan. They do what we call MRI, messaging resonance imaging, and they do what we call the blood chemistry. And they do other. You see the bill, how much it is. So one visit to the hospital would almost eat half of what you could have paid the whole year for the medical scheme. So you must be prudent. One of the principles of prudent financial management is prudence. Be prudent. Take a medical cover. You never know what tomorrow has for you. Take a medical cover for your family members. But remember what I've said first. As you go for medical scheme, take what we call National Hospital Insurance Fund and pay. It's only 500 shillings per month for your whole family. It comes in handy. It has helped people who undergo what we call kidney dialysis. It helps people for so many things. So I urge you to be wise. Be wise. Finally, before I forget, if God has blessed you with a house, and you have got some house equipment, you have maybe a TV, you have what we call you have a fridge, you have a deep freezer, you have a DVD player, you have what we call quite a number of household items. You need to insure your property. This is what we call domestic insurance policy, because anything can happen. Insure your building against fire, because nobody can steal your building, but it can be burnt, it can be gutted down by fire. So take fire insurance policy, take a domestic package policy for your household goods. And if you have a car, kindly don't go for a third-party policy. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, you can't afford to go for a third-party policy. It took you a lot of time to buy that car, time and energy. Kindly go for a comprehensive cover. And for more information, once again, kindly don't hesitate to get in touch with me on 0713-534-65. If I don't pick your phone call, my personal assistant will, and will be guided accordingly. You can even visit me in my office, which is at Outer Ring Road, Ruaraka, in between Ora Petrol Station and Naivas Supermarket, and we are neighboring Petan's Driving School. You can find us there. That's Panorama Consulting Company Limited. You can visit my YouTube channel, Dr. Paul Kebicho YouTube channel. You can go to my Instagram, Paul Kebicho. You can go to my Twitter account at Kibsure. You'll be able to follow me. For more information, you can even visit our website, www.panorama-consultants.com. You can even drop me an email at info@panorama-consultants.com or paulkebicho@gmail.com. May God bless you. Let's be wise. Let's be wise. And the moment you plan your life, remember, nobody plans to fail, but we fail to plan. We need to plan our lives better. May God bless you. It has been nice talking to you. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Continually subscribe. Follow the various things that I have given there. You never know, they may add value to you. I want first of all to appreciate one gentleman I met by the name Mr. David Mwangi, who works at Gratom Babs Security Company. He talked of me having encouraged him to the level of now doing what we call a master's degree in leadership. I salute you, and I know many more will give their testimonies. If I have been of value to you, you can just drop a message and say thanks, or you can even comment. For positive criticism, welcome. Negative criticism is what makes us to continue in life. God bless you all. Thank you.